You guys, out of everything that we've seen so far throughout the course of this 2022 NBA offseason, I personally think that all of the trade rumors, news, and speculation revolving around Spurs point guard Dejounte Murray has been more entertaining than anything else. Because not only does this have the entire world wondering why the Spurs are all of a sudden looking to ship out a player that has become the face of their franchise over the last couple of seasons, but also with Dejounte becoming one of the more overlooked and underappreciated rising stars in the game today, many people seem to not even realize yet that this could become the biggest blockbuster trade we see before the up-and-coming NBA season. And what we might actually see over the next week or so, and on top of that, why specifically Dejounte Murray is a much bigger deal than you might think, is exactly what we're going to unfold. One sec though guys, if you haven't yet, don't forget to like the video if you do enjoy, subscribe, and turn on those notifications to never miss another NBA video. Love you guys. And for any of you that do, I appreciate you and cannot thank you enough, because according to my numbers, over 95% of you guys coming back to actually watch the content haven't even subscribed yet. So again, I just wanted to say thanks, but anyway, let's get back into the man of the hour in Dejounte Murray, who, for people that aren't very familiar with him, could probably figure out very quickly that he is a very solid player at the very least, as in his most previous season with the San Antonio Spurs, he averaged 21 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists per game, while having adequate shooting splits right alongside this. But as we know now in today's NBA, the near average of a triple-double is becoming more common and less impressive as the years go on. So yes, while the numbers do seem relatively solid at first glance, many were still in disbelief to see that the minimum asking price for Dejounte Murray would be 3 first-round picks and additional assets from the San Antonio Spurs. And again, while this might seem like a stretch, I will tell you right now as a neutral NBA fan, if you haven't watched much of Dejounte Murray recently, that he will be worth every penny given up in a transaction like this, and there are so many different reasons why. Because in case you guys haven't seen, while yes, the Atlanta Hawks have relatively dominated the headlines in terms of a Dejounte Murray trade, I can guarantee that there are more teams than you would think that have picked up the phone and gauged interest on what a Dejounte Murray trade would entail. And if we're gonna get into why everyone is trying to get their hands on this man, we undoubtedly need to start with this guy's defense. Because while very surprisingly, Dejounte Murray only stands at 6'4", he has an absolutely ridiculous 6'10" wingspan. And with this, not only has he proven he is one of the best perimeter defenders in the league over the last couple of seasons, but this point can be added to even more with the fact that he led the entire NBA in steals last season, averaging 2 of them per game. So obviously with his size and speed, he is pretty much a defensive nightmare for any guard he is going up against across the entire league. Like honestly, after watching this man over the last couple of years, it is flat out disrespectful that he only has 1 all-defensive team appearance in his 6-year career. And it doesn't matter which of the 30 teams across the league you're talking about, because with Dejounte Murray's defensive versatility, it could be utilized tremendously in any given rotation. But of course, while any team would be dying to add some elite defense, we also need to consider that realistically, Dejounte Murray is one of the best two-way point guards in the NBA today. Because while we did show his numbers previously, if any of you watching for a split second considered that these might have been empty numbers he was putting up, I will tell you right now, even though the Spurs did only get the 10th seed in the Western Conference, this could not be further from the truth. And while we are going to get into all of the major assets of his offense, the area that teams are looking to add the most from his arsenal is easily his ability to facilitate. Because with some of these teams that are rumored to be looking into a trade for Dejounte Murray, I've seen a decent amount of fans pose the question on Twitter of why in the world would you trade for a second point guard if you do indeed intend to keep your original one. And while every team situation is going to be different, I can pretty confidently say no matter what situation you're in, you're going to want Dejounte Murray handling the ball for your team. Because again, not only did he put up a staggering improvement of 9 assists per game throughout last season, but he also had a very impressive assist to turnover ratio while taking such a huge leap in just 1 season. But along with this, I think it should be taken into consideration way more than it is right now, that with him very quickly becoming one of the best facilitators and playmakers in the game today, he was able to do so with, we'll just say, not the best talent surrounding him compared to what it could be like in other situations. And with all of this, we still haven't even covered his threat as a scorer, because obviously with being the ball handler most of the time, he has proven he can very effectively create his own shot from almost anywhere on the court. But believe it or not, where he actually thrives most in this sense is getting to the basket as well as the mid-range game. As just last season, he averaged over 50% from inside the arc on 14 attempts per game. And while he has very quickly improved and perfected this portion of his game, if we had to pick one flaw to focus on for Dejounte Murray, it would definitely be his three-point shooting ability. As last season, with him shooting around 33% from behind the arc and being right around there for the course of his entire career as well, while he has continually taken more attempts per game as his career has gone on, it just seems to be that one area of his game that hasn't drastically improved as much as every other asset has. But obviously, it is not the end of the world. This is definitely not going to stop teams from giving up a haul to try to obtain this man. And with this, you could also make the point that the majority of his threes were probably coming off of individual shot creation as opposed to setups from his teammates. I would like to think that in a potential new situation, we would see his three-point shooting increase over time. But still, with this one area of improvement, do not let it diminish from the fact of the brilliance Dejounte Murray could bring to any given team on both sides of the ball. And again, regarding potential new teams, while the Atlanta Hawks have been the talk of the topic, I have seen so many other rumors about teams potentially going after him, and even some that you wouldn't even think would do so. I mean, I'm talking about the Timberwolves, the Nuggets, I've seen stuff about the Knicks, even the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics. And the funny thing is that I think the fact a trade has not gone down yet between the Spurs and the Hawks might mean that there are a ton of other offers on the table right now, and San Antonio is probably making sure they get the biggest bag possible. And personally, I'm still just shocked at the fact that the Spurs are looking to trade away this man after the biggest jump we've seen in his career. But I mean, hey, they're making this offseason a lot more entertaining for us, so I guess we'll just give them credit where it's due. But now, after everything that we've mentioned about Dejounte Murray, I am extremely curious to hear what you guys have to think about the situation. So please let me know in the comments, which team would you be most interested to see Dejounte Murray play for next season? And also, if you're a fan of a team that might be looking into trade for him, how great of a fit would he be into your team's rotation? And let me know what you think of the Spurs and all of this, because I just need to hear someone else's opinion on this. But again, you guys, if you haven't yet, don't forget to go down below and leave a like on the video if you did enjoy, and of course, subscribe while you're down there. I mean, we're still just at the beginning of the offseason, and we're going to be covering all the trades, free agency signings, and team moves that we possibly can over the next couple of weeks. So just believe me when I say this, you do not want to miss out. But also, I just wanted to say thank you so much to each and every one of you for watching. I appreciate all of you more than anything. You all know this, and I will see you guys in the next video.